Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
We're following breaking news as a truck is on its side after crashing in a Cary neighborhood. We are live on the scene as we're trying to figure out what led to this. And teams have restored power to parts of the Village District in Raleigh.
And we're dealing with some cloud cover from last night's rain, but look at that little spot of blue there over downtown Raleigh. I'll show you when the sun returns and how hot it will feel later today.
Plus, we're talking about busy airports. People across the country and across the triangle will be taken to the skies for the holiday. We'll tell you what you can expect as you get ready for your flight. The other video you there, that's what we were talking about with there's a bit of some people with power out near the Village District in Raleigh. We'll take you a little bit more on that in just a second. But first, we want to say thank you so much for joining us here on WRAL News and Fox 50. I'm Chris Levingood. So this morning, if you've been watching with us, you've seen us talking about the limited visibility, the fog. But good news, it's been improving as the morning has progressed, and Elizabeth has been tracking that from the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
We'll start here in downtown Raleigh, where we still do have a good bit of low cloud cover, but look at that, starting to break, and once it begins to break, we'll tend to see that continuing pretty quickly across our area. Right now it's 8 o'clock. I would say by 10 o'clock, we're seeing a lot more sunshine, and we should be fairly clear by lunchtime. 75 is our current temperature. Our dew point is 71, which puts us way over on the muggy side. So we did a sticky start this morning. Our cold front that came through last night brought us a lot of heavy rain. That front now moves offshore. You can see this band of heavy rain and the thunderstorms there. So we're going to see that boundary sitting there, and a low will develop along it. And it looks like by Sunday, it could push some rain back across the coast and probably increase our rip current danger. Keep that in mind if you're headed to the beaches for the weekend. Just a 20% chance of rain around here today as compared to, of course, the deluge that we saw yesterday. Heading out the door this morning, temperatures are in the low to mid 70s, but we climb into the low 90s this afternoon. We'll have a heat index to go along with that since we still have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. I'll show you what it will feel like coming up.
As we get the 8 o'clock hour started, I-540 right at Capitol Boulevard. So we take you all the way up to the freeway north of Raleigh right here. And it looks to be light volume right now for this time of day, right? Maybe that holiday travel folks not making it into work. Lucky for them, right? Look at the big picture. There is one crash right there. Creedmoor Road at West Millbrook Road. No injuries in that, just a crash there involving motor vehicle. I want to give you a different look because showing up right at I-440 and Lake Boone Trail, right around that area, I-440 in the westbound area. I got a little snapshot there of some backups because in the Lake Boone Trail area, there's an injury accident right there. So that is causing some backups as well. And as we take another live look here, I'm going to get you out to I-40 at Garner Road. And you see a little bit of volume building there. But also Raleigh 911, Raleigh, Wake County 911 reporting 8 incidents right now. About half of them are involving crashes. One of those in Cary, and they're calling it an ejection crash. And we're going to catch up with Kelsey Coffey, who we saw reporting there earlier with some new information here in a little bit.
All right, sounds good there, Jeff. Meanwhile, we're following breaking news as teams are on the scene of a serious crash in a Cary neighborhood. Actually, WRAL's Kelsey Coffey arrived there. We're talking about less than 30 minutes ago. And Kelsey, you just talked with Cary police.
Yes, Chris, I just heard from Cary police about 10 minutes ago. They say that this was a situation where there was a distracted driver. So you can see this truck here and some of the damage that's left behind on West Chatham Street here in Cary. You can see how that truck hit an electrical box, and there's some live wire here. So Duke Energy crews arrived to the scene about 3 minutes ago to start working on repairing this. But Cary police say that this distracted driver says that they dropped their phone while they were driving. They reached down to pick it up and lost control of the truck. And this is what you're seeing now, the aftermath of that crash. Now, the driver is expected to be okay, but they were taken to the hospital. So we'll be sure to keep you all updated on these cleanup efforts. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Oh, boy. We're also following this breaking story. Teams have restored power in the Village District in Raleigh after a tree knocked out power lines and a traffic light. Ali Kadlubar has been there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You know, Ali, I've been checking in with you this morning, and it seems like there's just been some steady progress, but things aren't 100% clear just yet.
Yes, steady progress, absolutely. In the past 4 hours, we've seen crews kind of tackle this situation down here. It's been a mess. A tree fell on top of a traffic light and pulled down utility lines impacting 1,000 customers, 1,000 Duke Energy customers here near the Village District. You can kind of see a little bit of a group of utility crews out here. And take a look at this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker earlier this morning. You can really see that tree on top of those traffic lights, the traffic lights blinking as well. Now, we do want to show you the traffic impact it's kind of having here. Not much of an impact. Right here, this is Bellwood Drive, Clark Avenue, and then it also connects to Peace Street. We've seen some drivers have to make a U-turn or take a detour route, but as you can see, that one driver just did a U-turn right there. So just want something to be, you may want to be cautious of as you head this way. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
And a Wake County family woke up this morning to a car driving through their fence right here. This is the aftermath. It happened around 3:30 a.m. on Bryan Road near Garner. The WRAL breaking news tracker saw troopers making an arrest there, and the homeowners say this is actually the second time this has happened in a year. They say crashes like this have happened at least 7 times in their 20 years at the home, and that home sits on a curve in the road. We are keeping you updated on what you need to know ahead of the long holiday weekend, as we are giving you a live look at RDU this morning. And folks, it's going to be busy there. We have been seeing longer lines and more traffic ahead of 4th of July holidays. Now, nearly 6 million people will be flying to their Independence Day travel destinations, according to AAA. And if you are flying today, folks, please make sure you have your real ID, your passport, or another form of acceptable ID. If you don't have any of those options yet, well, you may still have to go through additional screening. And July 4th celebrations are getting started early for many cities and towns across the Triangle. 5 different fireworks are expected to kick off tonight. The displays across our viewing area. For example, in Apex, you can get ahead of your Independence Day celebrations with a night of food, games, and fireworks. From 5 to 10 tonight, Hunter Street Park will celebrate the red, white, and blue. They start the light up tonight at 9 p.m. with a drone light show, and then there will be a fireworks display at 9:30. There will also be a sensory-friendly accommodations at the Senior Center for the fireworks show. And happening tonight in Garner, the town is hosting its Independence Day celebration at Lake Benson Park. There will be food vendors, a kids zone, a symphony, and fireworks. There will be free parking and shuttle services from South Garner High School, and that event kicks off at 5. Over in Smithfield, downtown will come alive for its celebration. The fun starts at 5 and will include live music, food trucks, and locally grown watermelon. The night will end with a fireworks display at dusk over the Neuse River. And you are encouraged to bring chairs or blankets and get there early to find a good spot. And these are just some of the events. You can find the full list over on WRAL.com. In the early hours of the morning, the U.S. House took a major step towards advancing President Donald Trump's federal spending plan. The bill will now head to the House floor after several Republicans threatened to block it before it ever got to a final vote. They had issues with the deficit and the cuts to Medicaid. Enough of the holdouts backed down, though, this morning in order to approve the advancement by a 219 to 213 vote. Republican leaders now say they have enough votes for final passage, and the next vote could come as early as this morning. People who live in Raleigh's Village District, they are demanding change after a couple was recently hit by a car while crossing the street. Kevin AC and his wife Lori were visiting from Utah, and that is when they were hit by a car at the corner of Clark Avenue and Oberlin Road on Friday. Both suffered cuts and broken bones, and Kevin says it happened almost too quickly to process. One person we spoke with who lives in the district says this is all too familiar, and he was hit 2 years ago as well.
My left side, and then I was flying in the air.
I was horrified and not the tiniest bit surprised.
In an email, the City of Raleigh spokesperson, Julia Milstead, said that the city is planning to bar right turns on the red lights there in areas like the Village District. There's not a timeline yet, though, for when those changes will come. A man is in the hospital after this box truck overturned, and this happened on the off-ramp of I-540 onto I-40. Now, this was what it looked like from the WRAL breaking news tracker. You can see it right there, that ramp shut down, and this happened just before 4 p.m. yesterday. Police believe speed and alcohol are factors in the crash. The driver is expected to be okay, and we are working to learn if he'll face any charges. At least 4 people are dead and more than a dozen others are hurt outside of a shooting, outside of a nightclub, I should say, in Chicago. A shooting happened there. Police say that drive-by shooting happened late last night, and the shooting reportedly happened as people were leaving a rapper's album release party. 2 men and 2 women were killed, and at least 14 other people are hurt. At least 3 people are in critical condition, and police have not released any information about possible suspects. Work is underway on a road project that could cause traffic backups. It affects Chapel Hill Road between Wilson Road and Woodland Drive. Crews will be undergoing utility relocation work between 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and this will last for about 6 months. Town leaders say that you can expect lane closures during that time. A first-of-its-kind transportation project in Raleigh is one step closer to reality. City leaders awarded a $28.6 million contract for part of the bus rapid transit project. The whole project will add dedicated bus lanes and stations along New Bern Avenue from downtown to Sunnybrook Road. Phase 1 focuses on construction from downtown Raleigh to Pool Road.
It really focuses on the horizontal roadway work and the underground utility work that needs to happen to set up for the vertical stations that will come in the future, as well as some of the other activities in the future.
Project leaders say that construction should not affect access to driveways or businesses, and work is expected to start this fall. Your time is 8:10. Searching for the missing. Several people are unaccounted for after a fireworks explosion in California. What we know about the investigation and the extent of the damage. Plus, a fallen plane piece. The FAA is investigating why a piece from a plane was found in a Raleigh driveway. This morning, where investigators are on piecing this together.
Everybody's getting excited about the 4th of July, and how about those fireworks? Looking good, really, for tomorrow night, but a lot of fireworks happen tonight as well. I'll show you when the sky is clear and how it will be for tonight's extravaganzas. 8:14, let's check out Pinehurst. Look at that blue sky. I mean, there's still a little bit of cloud cover there, but we're headed for a nice sunny day today with minimal chances for rain. It's not going to feel like yesterday where we just had downpour after downpour. Roxborough is sitting at 70 right now. It's 75 in Durham, 71 in Cary, 73 in Garner. We're still seeing a good bit of cloud cover, but we'll give it another hour to 2 hours and that sunshine is really going to break out. But then you add some heat to our amount of moisture in the atmosphere, and we're looking at again, just a 20% chance of a shower or thunderstorm. It would not keep me from doing anything outside except for the heat. Looking at low 90s for this afternoon. If you're headed out to Dix Park to the Gibson Play Plaza, which is a great place to be, take a bathing suit, get in the water. It'll be fabulous. But it is going to feel a little hotter than that. I'll check out the heat indices coming up.
I'm checking out I-87 at US 64 264 as folks make their way in from Wendell and Knightdale area, right where 64 and 264 link up there. You see traffic moving just fine in that area, but look at the big map right there. Some of the icons have come and go. These crashes being cleared, so that's good news. But this is Creedmoor Road, West Millbrook Road. Not an injury. That's a damage-only crash there. So waiting to get that cleaned up. A major intersection right there causing some slowdowns as well. Raleigh 911, Raleigh, Wake County 911. You see that one incident right there south of Durham? That is NC 55 at Riddle Road. Another crash popping up right there. So NC 55 well traveled on normal days, but that's what we're looking at there, waiting for it to clear up. And a lot of these, like I said, have come and go. I-40, Garner Road. There is a roadblock that I'm looking into. It is Knightdale Boulevard and Old Knightdale Road. The road is blocked from a crash there. 101.5 HD3 all across the triangle if you're listening out in your car.
This morning, new information about this massive explosion at a California fireworks warehouse. I mean, we've been showing you that incredible video. We now know 7 people are unaccounted for after the explosion happened this past Tuesday, and it all started with a fire in the warehouse that ignited the fireworks. The explosions also set off a fire and at least 2 homes and several vehicles on the property. Crews are also using drones to assess any remaining hazards since the explosions, but the cause of that fire, that's still unclear. At least 15 people are hurt because a plane carrying skydivers crashed in New Jersey, and that plane crashed minutes after takeoff. An emergency management leader says the pilot reported engine trouble before the crash, and the injuries that we're talking about here, they range from minor to severe. The pilot had to be cut from the wreckage, and the FAA is investigating this crash. Another crash they're looking into, part of a wing from a Delta jet landed in the driveway of a home in Raleigh. The FAA confirmed a wing flap from Delta Flight 3247 was missing when it landed at RDU yesterday. The agency is trying to confirm that the flap found on Banbury Road belongs to that plane. A Delta spokesperson said a portion of the left wing's trailing edge, it's separated from the aircraft before its safe landing at RDU. But no one on the ground was hurt and no property was damaged. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's lawyers are trying to keep their case against the Trump administration alive. His legal team wants to include conditions at the prison Abrego Garcia was sent to in El Salvador in their case. That was after he was wrongfully deported earlier this year. Abrego Garcia's legal team claims he experienced torture and mistreatment during his confinement, and he is currently in custody facing human smuggling charges. The Trump administration says it plans to eventually deport him to a country other than El Salvador. I want to show you some new video revealing unmarked vehicles arriving at the Florida detention center known as Alligator Alcatraz. Now, this happened just hours after the state attorney general said hundreds of detainees would be moved in. Several cars and trucks with heavily tinted windows pulled into the facility last night. And just this week, President Donald Trump toured that facility with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis says the facility will be able to hold around 3,000 detainees once it's fully operational. Today, an important market indicator could reveal more about the state of our economy. The June U.S. jobs report is expected to show a further slowdown in hiring. Last month's May jobs report indicated that the labor market was cooling but not collapsing. However, just yesterday, ADP reported firms cut jobs in June. We'll be looking to see if the national data matches the company's findings, and that report is due out in 12 minutes. A man is recovering at the UNC Burn Center because authorities say he was struck by lightning while on a boat. This happened Sunday in Pender County, north of Wilmington. The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission says that man was on the boat in the Intracoastal Waterway at the time. And witnesses, well, they jumped in to give him CPR, and then he was eventually taken to the hospital. Authorities say this is the time of year to be extra careful.
Especially this week being the 4th, and even next couple of weeks, people out of town and on vacation and everything, just to be mindful of.
Another person was on the boat but was not injured. And actually, this is the second case like this on the coast this year. The torrential rain across the triangle yesterday, it did not get in the way of 4th of July fun for some people. Wendell was still able to host its annual fireworks show last night. And people who were at that show, they said they were not going to let the weather stop them from having a good time.
We kind of prepared for that much earlier in the day, checking the weather, and we're quite excited that we're here.
We have a family that lives in the area, and they said it was a really good time last year, so we figured why not celebrate the 4th of July.
WRAL Out and About has a list of more than 24 local fireworks displays and Independence Day festivals, including in Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Apex, Garner, and Clayton. Just search the word fireworks on WRAL.com. Now, here's the deal. We're talking about fireworks show. We're talking about the fun you could be having for the holiday, and you may be wondering, is it going to rain? It's been raining a little bit this week. Well, Elizabeth Gardner has been tracking that in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
You know, in the summertime, a couple of things will happen. One, it's just hot and humid, and we have the sun kind of causing some popcorn cells to pop up. And those can be pretty difficult to predict in terms of who may see them and the timing and that sort of thing. Another thing that happens is we have a cold front that comes through, and those are a little more easy to predict. But this was a really slow-moving front. Moved a little slower than anticipated, and we saw some of that rain lingering into the evening. That front is very slowly moving off the coast. We have some showers and storms right here along the coast. That low will move offshore and park itself there, and that's where we're going to have a low pressure system developing. If it becomes tropical, even if it doesn't, it's still likely to start to push some rain back into the coast of North Carolina, potentially by Sunday. So if you're headed to the beaches, you want to keep checking in with us about the timing or the potential for that to have an effect on your Sunday at the beach. Here's what happened yesterday. We saw anywhere from 1 inch to 3 inches in these pockets highlighted in red and purple. That's where we had some of the heaviest rain. Now, of course, even with a cold front, some places are going to see more rain than others, and some places did see some gully washers, if you will, yesterday in Raleigh, where I was. Here's this afternoon at about 3 o'clock, a tiny cell pops up and drifts down into Johnston County from Wake County. That's likely to be quick, a 20% chance that you'll see a shower or thunderstorm later on today. Not nearly as great a chance as we saw yesterday. 20% chance again on Friday, 30 on Sunday, and 20 on Monday. How about the tropics? So a 60% chance now. So this has gone up from a 50 to 60% chance here this morning. And this is where we could see some of the rain that moves on shore on Sunday. Also, rip current danger for us as well. It's moderate now, but with that low developing, it could go up to high as we get into the weekend. We take a look at our forecast. It's going to be hot around here for the weekend with highs in the low 90s.
And And it is a brand new picture as we take a look here in the 8 o'clock hour. 3 crash icons just popped up. The Creedmoor Road accident has cleared, so that's good news out of that. But 3 more crashes popped up just south of Durham. You see that one at the top left of your screen there. That is Riddle Road and NC 55. So NC 55 is experiencing some backups right there. The other 2 I'm going to check on out here because that I-87 look coming in, the 264 camera, not seeing any backups right there, although it looks like that crash coming in from Wendell. Also, Nightdale Boulevard, Old Nightdale Road and Nightdale Boulevard. That is blocked and will stay blocked for about 20 more minutes or so. The crash up in the Durham area, by the way, that is expected to be cleared. Now, this is an estimate, 8:40 this morning. So 101.5 HD3 all across the triangle. If you're getting ready to get in your car for some holiday travel, you can listen and get your traffic updates.
Road rage suspect denied bail. The suspect in a Cary road rage shooting was denied bond. And we're going to tell you what we know about his first court appearance. Plus, safe celebration. If you plan to host a July 4th bash this week, 5 on your side's Keely Arthur tells you some things you should know, especially if children will be at the event.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Your time is 8:26. I'm Chris Lovingood. We'll get you started on your weather forecast with Elizabeth Gardner.
Temperatures are in the mid-70s, and there's still a lot of cloud cover, but some signs that those clouds are beginning to break up. A little hint of blue showing up here over Durham and over Fayetteville. Once those clouds break up, it is going to be a hot day today. We'll see just a small chance of a thunderstorm, nothing like yesterday, 20% chance, meaning most of us will stay dry today. So that makes it a nice day to head to the pool, especially since it's going to be hot in the low 90s. Heat index will feel like mid to upper 90s.
3 traffic crash icons just popped up. So we'll start at the top left there in Durham. That is NC 55 and Riddle Road right there. That is an accident blocking an intersection. So expect some delays in that area. And moving over to Spring Forest Road, Lewisburg Road. You see that little 401 icon right there. This happened just about 10 minutes ago. That popped up. So I'll look further into that. And then out by this is Nightdale Boulevard, Old Nightdale Road is that crash icon right there. That road is blocked right there after a vehicle accident.
This morning, the road is closed at P Street and Smallwood Drive because of a downed tree. Drivers are having a bit of a time. They're having a detour, and they have to either go that way or turn around. The Village District appears to have power, but electricity is out for quite a few people in the surrounding neighborhoods nearby. And AAA is predicting record-breaking travel numbers this 4th of July weekend. Now, if you're flying today, make sure you have your real ID or your passport or another form of acceptable ID. If you do not have any of those options, you may have to go through additional screening or may not even be able to fly. Next on Fox 50, we're going to tell you where to find a list of local fireworks displays and Independence Day festivals.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking right now at 8:30, a truck flipped onto its side. Cary police are investigating a crash this morning. We'll tell you what officers believe happened moments before the truck went off-road. And traffic lights down. We're giving you right now a look at the damage after the tree fell near Raleigh's Village District. The progress teams are making to clean that mess up.
And the skies are beginning to clear. A little bit of blue starting to peek out here in downtown Raleigh. I'll show you how hot it will get, especially with the heat index later on today.
Plus, red, white, and zoom. A live look at RDU this morning as travelers are rushing to the airport ahead of the 4th of July weekend. What you should know before you pack your suitcase. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning here on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood. So earlier, it was like a lot foggier here at the lake behind me there, so there's been some improvement. Elizabeth has been tracking that improvement there in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Looking over the legislative building, you can see a few peaks of blue sky there amongst the clouds. And so we'll continue to see the clouds thinning out. It'll be partly cloudy this afternoon, and that means our temperatures will really climb. You know, even though we had a cold front come through, that front did not take along a lot of the moisture with it. So our dew point's still at 72. That's pretty high. 75 is our temperature. So we will have somewhat of a heat index to deal with today. It's a very slow moving front. That front will continue to move offshore. And you can see all the activity here. That will stall and potentially a low develops, possibly becoming tropical. We'll talk about how that could affect the beaches, especially on Sunday coming up. Around here this afternoon, it's a minimal chance for storms, 20%. There are a bunch of folks having fireworks displays this evening. I'm going to walk through the fireworks forecast for you, but I'll give you a little hint. It looks pretty good. Again, just a very small chance for any storms. Temperatures right now are in the low to mid 70s heading out the door. And with sunshine this afternoon, we'll climb into the low 90s. But of course, it'll feel hotter than that. So we'll go over the heat index through the weekend coming up.
Live look right now, I-87 right at the US 64 and 264 interchange. But as you see, a little bit of sunshine popping out. So we are getting clear of some of that fog out there that we had this morning. Look at the big traffic picture right here. That incident on NC 55 and Riddle Road has cleared up. So that is good news over in the Durham area. But as we bring you back into the Raleigh area, that Spring Forest, Lewisburg area, right, that 401, this is about 15 minutes old now. There is damage there to a vehicle right in that area. And I wanted to just give you a quick look at I-540 and US 401. You see how close that camera is to where the crash happened. And as we take snapshots of some live looks, it doesn't look too bad right there as far as getting past that. But Nightdale Boulevard, Old Nightdale Road, that is what we're seeing out there towards Wendell. That road's still blocked from a crash that's happening right there. Check us out on the radio. 101.5 HD3 is the spot if you are headed out the door anytime soon.
We do want to take you to this developing story. Right now, teams are on the scene of a very serious crash in a Cary neighborhood. You can see the damage right there. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey has been at that scene for quite some time. And Kelsey, you actually just learned new information about what may have led up to this.
Yes, Chris, just within the last 30 minutes or so, we learned that this was a situation where there was a distracted driver, according to Cary police. So we'll give you a look now at this scene. We did have to step back in the last half hour because crews are now working on some live wires that are here. But you can see how that white truck hit an electrical box, and there's just debris that's scattered on the ground there. Cary police say that this was a situation where a distracted driver was on their phone fell, and when they tried to pick it up, they lost control of the vehicle. Cary police says that that driver is expected to be okay, but they were taken to the hospital just as a precaution. But we'll be sure to keep you updated on power outages in this area. So far at last check, we know that more than 300 customers are without power here. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
And power is back on for hundreds of people in Raleigh's Village District because a fallen tree took down power lines there. And Ali Kadlibar just arrived in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, there's still work to be done, though, to repair those traffic lights.
Yes, Chris, and just within the past 30 minutes, we have seen some progress here. We've seen Duke Energy crews. They've been kind of assessing that snapped utility pole right there. It's just one of the things, a part of this mess here. A tree fell onto these traffic lights that also pulled down utility lines and snapped that power pole there. It impacted 1,000 Duke Energy customers earlier this morning around 4:30 a.m. Right now, it looks like only 200 customers are without power, and that power is expected to be restored around 10 a.m. And it is blocking off still Bellwood Drive between Clark Avenue and Peace Street. And so we do want to show you kind of the intersection it's impacting one of them. We did hear some tire skid on the other side. So we have seen some drivers get creative with some U-turns, so just be cautious if you are heading this way. You might have to take a detour, not impacting it much right now. Again, estimated restoration time around 10 a.m. We're going to keep you guys updated on the progress. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlibar, WRAL News.
A Wake County family woke up this morning to a car crash outside their home, and this happened around 3:30 on Bryan Road near Garner. Investigators say that car crashed through a fence and into the tree, and we were there to see troopers making an arrest on scene. The homeowners say this is the second time this has happened in a year, and they say crashes like this one have happened at least 7 times in their 20 years at that home, and that home sits on a curve in the road. 4th of July travel, it is underway as we are giving you a live look at RDU. Folks, it is going to be busy there. We checked in with American Airlines. Almost 600 of their flights are scheduled to take off from RDU over this holiday travel period. Nearly 6 million people will be flying to their July 4th travel destinations, according to AAA. They say air travel for the 4th is up 1.6% from last year. And they're reminding travelers to arrive to the airport early. We spoke with a traveler before she boarded her flight this morning, and here's her advice to you if you're going to travel.
Get here early, pack snacks, get some coffee, make sure you're well rested.
And just remember that if you are flying today, please bring your real ID. If you don't have one, you may have to go through additional screening there. You can also use your passport or another form of acceptable ID. So if you're looking for more of a staycation this Independence Day, well, there are many events that are happening that will have food, fun, and fireworks right here in the Triangle. The town of Wake Forest will hold its 52nd annual Independence Day celebration tonight. And the fun will start with a fireworks spectacular, which begins at 5:30 p.m. at Heritage High School. The fireworks start at 9:20 tonight. And then on Friday, July 4th, there will be a children's parade downtown, art in the park, and more. Morrisville will also kick off its celebration tonight. That'll happen at Cedar Fork District Park from 5 to 9 tonight, and there will be live entertainment, food trucks, and family-friendly games. We want to give you a live look over at downtown Cary Park here in just a moment, as families will have the chance to kick off their celebrations. Starting at 4 this afternoon, the park will be full of family fun. There's going to be food trucks, water play, VR jet simulators, and even a movie screening. This event is free and open to the public, and the fun wraps up around 9. Just a reminder, we do have an entire list of more than 24 local fireworks displays and Independence Day festivities. We know those are on WRAL.com. Just search the word fireworks. We do want to give you a look at Capitol Hill as the House is expected to hold a final floor vote on the president's budget bill this morning. Now, right now, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is speaking. He has had the floor for more than 3 hours to express Democratic opposition to the bill before the vote. GOP holdouts ended the long stalemate last night and voted to allow it past the procedural hurdles there. President Donald Trump wants to sign it by tomorrow. And the man accused of shooting a 5-year-old girl and what's being called an act of road rage is being held without bond. Charles Stevenson Jr. appeared before a judge for the first time yesterday, and police say that he was driving aggressively and then fired a single shot into a pickup truck. The bullet passed through 5-year-old Emma's leg, putting her in the hospital, and Stevenson is expected in court later this month. The Trump administration is withholding $169 million from North Carolina public schools, and that's pending a review. The administration said it had concerns in other states about immigrant advocacy groups and other receiving funds. Now, it's not clear, though, whether funds will be cut after the review. The Trump administration has already canceled hundreds of millions of dollars in grants nationwide for teacher training and student mental health. You can read more about it on WRAL.com. State troopers are investigating a crash that happened, and this is one that sent a driver to the hospital. This was yesterday afternoon in Cameron on US 1 Business. According to first responders, a black SUV went off the road and then hit a parked vehicle. The driver in the SUV was flown to the hospital, but no one was in the parked vehicle. Highway Patrol is still investigating why that SUV drove off the road. And now to an update on a fire at a pool supply store in Clayton. Investigators say they cannot determine exactly what caused the fire at Bay State Pool Supply, and that is because of the damage and limited indoor cameras. They did confirm that water from the sprinkler system came into contact with the pool chemical, and that led to a chlorine-like odor. The Durham Housing Authority's development on Main Street is underway, and the group asked the city for a loan related to its public housing portion. It cites issues with getting rent payments from some of the residents there, and City Council unanimously voted to grant the $1.5 million loan. And so we spoke with the Housing Authority's interim CEO, Anthony Snell, about why projects like this one are not impacted by financial issues.
Our issue with respect to where we are at this particular point is because of the issues that we are facing on our public housing side. That's away from our other operations that we have here at the Housing Authority.
Snell says the money is going toward outstanding payments to the city for water service and Duke Energy for electricity. Sean Diddy Combs is being held without bail as he awaits sentencing following that mixed verdict in his federal trial. The jury found Combs guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He was acquitted of charges for racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. He could face up to 10 years in prison for each of his guilty counts, and his sentencing is set for October. The time is 8:41. Child-proof checklists, from hidden hazards to allergy alerts. What every host should know before guests arrive. Plus, check your freezer and your fridge. Kraft Heinz is recalling a breakfast staple, this turkey bacon, and we'll explain why it's being removed from grocery stores. We do want to give you a live look at Durham, as more sunshine is expected today with a chance for storms. Ahead, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has your 4th of July forecast.
8:45. Check out this gorgeous view of Beaufort, and a lot of cloud cover hanging around down here. It should be pretty nice today, tomorrow. Now Sunday, there's going to be a low that develops off the coast along the front that's moving across North Carolina right now. And the question is, will it become tropical? Even if it doesn't become tropical, it still has the potential to produce some rain that moves onto the coast, and definitely some high rip current danger. For some reason, the data is not coming in, but most of the coast of North Carolina is under a moderate rip current danger for today, and that may go up some over the weekend based on that low that could develop offshore. Temperatures will feel like summer up and down the coast for tomorrow, looking at, or Saturday, low to mid 80s. And then on Sunday, expect same thing, low to mid 80s. Sunday looks like the wetter day. So if you're headed down for tomorrow, you're looking at some fairly dry conditions for Friday and Saturday, an increased chance of storms on Sunday. And the mountains, it looks pretty dry for Saturday. Asheville at 87, Boone at 79. And on Sunday, same story, maybe a pop-up storm. Highlands at 75. Grandfather at 71. We are looking, of course, at the potential for rip currents along the beach and some scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly Sunday. Around here, I'll show you what we'll see for the holiday coming up.
Live traffic cameras here at 8:46 show that fog has burned off nicely. I-540 at Capitol Boulevard, north of the capital city. Traffic moving along just great. I'll show you the big picture on this map here, because you can see there are two crashes that are happening right now as we take this live look. Now, one of them is Spring Forest Road. That one is right near 401, right there near New Hope Road. There's damage to a vehicle right there. It doesn't seem to be causing too many backups, too many delays right there. But as we head out towards Knightdale Boulevard, specifically Old Knight Road, there's a motor vehicle crash there as well that is blocking that road right there. This is a live look. I-87 volume building just a little bit. If you're headed out the door, 101.5 HD3 all across the triangle.
Before you fire up that grill to celebrate Independence Day, 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows you how to throw a safe celebration, especially if kids are there.
Hosting a party at home can be a blast, but it also means taking extra steps to keep kids safe. And here's what you need to know to baby and kid-proof your home before guests arrive. First, locate button batteries, which are found in household items, toys, and even party favors. Those can be deadly if swallowed. Keep unsecured ones out of reach or just throw them out. Next, think about big things like furniture. Kids love to climb and they love to explore. So make sure your furniture and your televisions are anchored to the wall. Consumer Reports tested several furniture anchor kits and recommends this metal simple wood mount kit for wood studs behind drywall, and this Quake Hold kit for metal studs behind drywall.
Take the time to find the studs in your wall and anchor your furniture in at least 2 places. And if you can, double loop the tether for extra strength.
Okay, another thing I want you to watch out for, food allergies. 1 in 13 children has one, and even just trace amounts of peanuts, dairy, or eggs can trigger a reaction. So ask about food allergies in advance, label food clearly, and maybe offer some allergy-friendly options. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Kraft Heinz Foods Company is recalling more than 367,000 pounds of turkey bacon because of potential contamination with Listeria. The recall affects Oscar Mayer turkey bacon original products produced from April 24th, 2025 through June 11th. Now, packages include 12, 36, and 48-ounce sizes with specific use by dates and lot codes. The products were distributed nationwide, and the issue was discovered from laboratory testing, but no illnesses have been reported. You are advised to discard or return those products. Now we want to take a look at some of the top stories in the world of entertainment. Here's Douglas Hyde.
We're here to celebrate and announce the class of 2026.
The Hollywood Walk of Fame just revealed the list of celebs who will receive a star next year. Timothy Chalamet, Emily Blunt, Demi Moore, and Molly Ringwald are among the film actors on the list, with Miley Cyrus, Josh Groban, and Bone Thugs-n-Harmony among the musical honorees. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, Gordon Ramsay, and Noah Wiley are some of the TV stars being honored as well. The Foo Fighters are celebrating their 30th anniversary with the release of their new single, Today's Song. It's their first new music since 2023. The band will keep the celebration going with live performances later this year.
The rules are simple. Survive 30 days with the entire nation hunting you down. And get your family out of Slumside for good.
Here's your first look at Glenn Powell in the upcoming remake of the 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger film, The Running Man. And like the original, it's based on a Stephen King story about a televised game show that forces contestants to fight for their lives. Coleman Domingo co-stars in the sci-fi thriller, which hits theaters in November. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
All right, after last night's rain, we saw some beautiful photos, including this one, chicken at the end of the amazing rainbow there. No double, wait, hold on. There is a double rainbow there. Pretty cool. I'll never hate a double rainbow there. Cute chicken. All right, we do have Elizabeth getting there. No rainbows in the sky this morning, Elizabeth.
No rainbows. Probably not going to see any today. Our chance for rain today much lower than yesterday. Yesterday just kept coming and coming and coming, at least across Wake County, just wave after wave of it. But look at that blue sky over Durham, looking beautiful. But you know what that means this time of year? That means that we're really going to heat things up. Right now it's 75 with a dew point of 71. So as long as it's in the 70s, it's okay. But that dew point really plays a big part in how it feels. If we could drop the dew point down into the low 60s, we'd all be rejoicing, but that's not likely to happen this time of year. Right now, visibility is looking pretty good. We had some fog in some spots this morning. Most of that is beginning to dissipate, starting to see some holes in the clouds, at least some places. By lunchtime, we should see partly cloudy skies everywhere. This afternoon, 92 Raleigh, 91 Durham, 93 in Fayetteville. We have a small chance for showers and thunderstorms later today, just a 20% chance. We should see a nice little drop in the humidity for Friday and Saturday, but you heard me say little, just a little drop. And then by Monday, with a better chance for rain, we're back up to tropical feeling again. So the amount of moisture in the atmosphere is what makes it feel hotter or cooler. And so we're kind of like a middle of the road dew point right now, middle of the road amount of moisture. So it is going to feel like 99 for today, 97 Friday. We just got this new update in for Monday. It bounces us up to 102, but maybe it'll end up changing as we get closer to Monday. But for the most part, our heat index is below the triple digits, at least through the holiday weekend. Several towns are having their fireworks displays tonight, and temperatures will be in the upper 70s to around 80. For Wake Forest, Cary, Garner, Smithfield, Apex, the weather looks good. Again, just a very small chance for thunderstorms. For Friday, it looks good too. A minimal chance for storms, 82 degrees should be good. And if you have evening plans for the rest of the weekend, everything looks fine. Our high temperatures all the way into next week will be in the low to mid 90s, a little cooler a couple mornings Saturday and Sunday, but it's just a July pattern for us. Once we get to early next week, we're back to a slightly better chance for thunderstorms.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. Here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers. A check on weather and traffic up next.